Hi everyone, Stacy Mitch, Senior Vice President of Communications for the Mercury and the Suns. Welcome. Excited to have everyone here. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started for the members of our media. We'll start with opening remarks from Nick Uren, followed by opening remarks from our new head coach, Nate Tibbett. Please remember, if you have a question, raise your hand. We'll hand you the mic. Please state your name and your affiliate. Speak clearly in the mic, and then pass it on. Okay? Yes, great. Okay, let's get started. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Stacy. It's an exciting day today for the Phoenix Mercury. It's not every day you get to name a new head coach, and we're thrilled to do that today. I'd like to start by just welcoming Mercury team members that are here, Suns team members that are here, members of the media, and most importantly, the Tibbetts family. Nate is joined here by his wife, Lindsay, his daughters, London and Jordan, and Nate and Lindsay's mothers as well. So welcome to Phoenix. We're thrilled to have you. We're thrilled to have you. Next, I'd like to just acknowledge and thank our fans, the X Factor. I think, Nate, you and your family will get to know our fans, and some of them are watching online, some of them are here today. And I've been in this job 3 months, but the impact that our fans have on our building, on our team, on a night in and night out basis is palpable. And it's the reason players want to play here. It's the reason our energy in our building is amazing. And I want to thank them, and I want to tell them that we are looking forward to trying to put a product on the floor that you guys can grow with us and be really proud of moving forward. Dee, thank you for being here. We appreciate you, and looking forward to what's coming. This has been a thorough process. It's been a long process, and it's been an energizing process. When I took the job, one of the major reasons I took this job was because of the commitment that Matt and Josh are willing to make, not only to our team, but our organization, our sport, and our league. And that led us to a pool of candidates that was more broad than I could have ever imagined. And ultimately, it led us to Nate Tibbett. And a few of the reasons I'm so excited to be here working with Nate today, Nate's vision for how he wants to lead this operation and organization, both now and moving forward, aligned so well with what we were looking for in a head coach. From his deep history in player development, to his interest and curiosity in the analytics space, to this detailed outline of how the offseason is going to look, to his philosophy on how we're going to play, and finally to how he treats players and people on and off the floor, are reasons that I'm thrilled to introduce Nate as the next head coach of our Phoenix Mercury.
Thank you, Nick. First off, I'm forever grateful and extremely excited about this opportunity. To be honest, I can't wait to get to work. We're doing research on me, but I was also doing research on the Mercury and the leadership and ownership group here. One night, Lindsay and I were watching different interviews with Matt, and one that really stuck out was his press conference here when he had bought this franchise. And it really stuck out to us. Every time he mentioned the Suns, he said the Mercury first. And it was Mercury and the Suns, Mercury and the Suns. He did not just talk about the Suns. And that's the kind of commitment that got me and our family excited about this. And that's a big reason why we're here. The next is the players. You know, this is a new league for me. I want to be educated. I'm gonna talk to our players as you know, I want to hear about the growth of this league. I want to hear and understand the struggles that they've gone through. I know that I've got some things to learn when it comes to the WNBA. I've got a lot of belief in my basketball knowledge and the experiences that I've seen. But I was super excited when I got the opportunity to become the head coach, but the thing that pushed me over the top was the calls to the players that I made. It was one of the first things that I tried to do. I'm going to be forever grateful how welcoming and excited they were to me. One of the cool things is Diana to promise to play defense next year. So once she said that, I said I'm all in. But check. No, I'm a relationship guy, and I want to get to know our players. I know that I'm all in on this 100%, and I know that I'm going to need to rely on our team to learn how this league works, and that's why I'm here. I want to continue to see different things, and the players just made it feel more comfortable, and I'll always be grateful and thankful those conversations and the things that they said, and I'll continue to remember those things. And lastly, I'd just like to thank my family, my beautiful wife, Lindsay. In this league, this is a crazy league. Things come up and you're never prepared for. Usually you're moving not on your terms. And we were in an awesome situation in Orlando, and more for my family. We had finally got out of the rain in Portland, and we're in some sun in Orlando, and Lindsay and my girls had a great support staff. The organization was great, and you know, part of being a great coach in this league is having a spouse, or for me, a wife that understands. And Lindsay, thank you. When we started talking about this, she supported me all the way through. You want to be a head coach, let's do this, and she's a big reason why we're here. Next, my two beautiful little girls, London and Jordan. What an opportunity for them to see me be a head coach of the best women's basketball players in the world. I grew up as a coach's kid. I can't imagine anything being better. And somebody told me now they have big sisters to look up to, role models, and that's exciting for me also. The last two people is my mother-in-law. She spends a lot of time with us during the season. We're away from our kids and family a lot, and her commitment to my girls, Robbie, thank you so much for that. Lastly is my mom. Neither one of the dads are here anymore. But I talked about my wife being a coach's wife, and how awesome she's been, and my mom was the same way. My dad was a long-time girls and women's coach, and she supported him through so much, and she supported us boys growing up. And Mom, thank you for being here. I love you a lot. Thank you.
We can open for questions. Go ahead.
Hello. How you doing, Nate? Eliav Gavai, Sports 360 AZ. Welcome to the Valley. So you just mentioned you're a relationship guy, and I see your daughter's with the Scorch dolls already. When you look up in the screen and you see Welcome to Phoenix, not just Nate Tibbett's, but Tibbett's family, yeah. How much did that energy have to do with that decision to come here?
Yeah, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. I was trying to prepare the girls that they were going to get to meet some of the players here today, but they were really excited to meet Scorch. Unfortunately, Scorch isn't here, but they've got the stuffies. But yeah, this is neat. Walking in, again, everything that they've talked about, this being a first-class organization, they're doing it, you know, and I'm so excited to be a part of this, seeing the girls walk in and seeing their names up there. I thought they'd be excited about seeing London and Jordan, and JoJo said, "And is our sight word, Dad." So they're learning how to spell. She was fired up about "and." But yeah, really, really neat, and I appreciate all of this. It's too much, but it's very welcoming for sure.
Absolutely, and of course, you mentioned that there is learning to do when it comes to the WNBA, but even Diana said it yesterday where, you know, the last coach that came in here in Westhead that, you know, it didn't have a ton of experience in WNBA was still successful. Mm-hmm. What does it mean, first of all, to get kind of that endorsement from someone like Diana, and then also just the mentality going into this new league?
It means a lot. It means a lot. I've had a couple great conversations with Diana. You know, I'm going to rely on her a lot. She's got experience. She's the greatest women's player of all time. So I'd be not very smart if I didn't lean on her a little bit. She's also told me that I can challenge her day in and day out, which is awesome, and I'm going to do that. And I think it's important for our other players to see that. I need to hold her accountable just like anybody else, and I'm going to do that. But I do have a lot to learn, and I'm a willing learner. But I'm a basketball guy. This is all I've known. I've experienced a lot, seen a lot, and yeah, I'm just excited about the growth of this league and being a part of it, and just helping it continue to grow.
Coach Hayden Silly, PHNX Sports. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Welcome
to
to the
meet
Valley.
you. Thank you.
I mean, we've had names like Becky Hammond, Teresa Weatherspoon that were, you know, top NBA assistants that went to the W. I mean, you're following that same track as well. For you personally, just what inspired you to go from being an assistant in the NBA for over a decade, you know, to becoming a head coach in the W?
Yeah, some of it is just my background. Again, growing up in girls' practices, women's college practices, working girls' camp since I was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old. I mean, my dad was putting me to work, and I just view it as this is a heck of an opportunity to become a head coach and continue to grow. And you know, obviously the commitment that this organization is going to make on a day-to-day basis is second to none. And so those are some of the reasons why I'm so excited. I'm all in on this. You know, I've heard or seen different things like, is he moving? Like, I'm here, and I'm going to dive in. I'm committed to this. Our family's moving here. This is where we want to be, and we're super excited about that.
Perfect. And Nick, for you, I mean, you mentioned the search process and how it ultimately ended up being Nate. Could you describe a little bit about that search process and just sort of what you were looking for in terms of a head coach, but not just sort of X's and O's, but just someone that can relate to the players and lead them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned in my intro, it was a long process and a thorough process, and one that was enabled by Matt's investment, you know, into what we're doing here with this team. That process took us through women's and men's college basketball. It took us into the international space. It took us into women's and men's professional basketball. And ultimately, we are thrilled to be working with Nate for some of the reasons I described. His detailed and holistic approach to how this thing's going to build day in and day out was something that really impressed us. And, you know, I hope that this is a reflection. Nate's hiring and Matt's investment in this position is a reflection of how we intend to conduct business here with the Phoenix Mercury. We want to treat our players like the professionals they are. We want to dive in.
Nikki Blue for this position.
Yeah, Nikki, being an interim head coach is really difficult. I appreciated working with Nikki a ton. I appreciated the work she did in a really difficult situation last year. You could ask me 100 questions about Nikki, and 100 times I'm not going to tell you anything negative. This ultimately was about what Nate brought, not what Nikki or any other candidate didn't have. And I referenced it earlier, the reasons we're excited to work with Nate in terms of player development, in terms of his interest in analytics, in terms of his philosophy of play. Those are the reasons we're really excited to be sitting next to Nate today.
And then for Coach, there's been a fair amount of criticism for this hire, or actually for both of you, there's been a fair amount of criticism for this hire on just not going to a woman, various people with opinions online. Just how do you handle that, you know, negative attention, I guess?
I can start and you can jump in if you'd like to. I think that I appreciate the question, and I think it's an important question. I think it's a valid question, and it's not, the response and the question is not one that we take lightly. We know as we run a WNBA organization that diversity and opportunity are critical. I would say our process, our candidate pool, and our finalist pool all reflected that. When I took this job, in my introductory press conference, I mentioned how excited I was to join this league because I align with the players in what they stand for. I believe in the values that they stand for. I believe in what this league represents. None of that has faded. And now I'm excited for us to be able to take action in terms of building a basketball operations staff and a coaching staff that reflects that diversity, that provides opportunity to people of all backgrounds, all expertise, all skill sets, and we understand that importance, and we look forward to taking action, not just saying the words.
What do we have next?
Yeah, I can answer that question too. I think for me, again, I just personally, I don't really live online. Me speaking to the players and them welcoming the way that they have, and that's just made me not worry about things that they're not worried about, to be completely honest. I understand. I'm sensitive to the situation. I know I'm one of only 3 male head coaches in the WNBA, and so I take responsibility for that. You know, I know that people are questioning it and agree or disagree. I'm going to do the best job that I can, and you know, do the best for our players and try to put them in positions to get better and be successful. And but that's my main focus.
Jeff Metcalf, I
Jeff.
just wanted to ask you, you were a little emotional there when you were thinking about your father.
Yeah.
And how does your father being a women's basketball coach in college and high school all those
Yeah.
years, how does that help you transition into women's basketball?
It helps me a lot. When Nick first called, it was funny. I was driving home from work and I had a missed call from Nick, and I don't know if we had spoken since you had gotten the job, maybe once, but I came home and had a missed call, and we were just, you know, it was only a couple weeks ago, and my mom happened to be in town, and I was talking to Lindsay and my mom, and I said, I wonder if he's calling about the Mercury position, and my mom was like, I sure hope so. You know, so for me, again, it's because of the way I was brought up, what I've seen and been around, you know, NBA, WNBA. This is a great opportunity to coach some of the greatest players that have ever played this game. And yeah, that background in my upbringing and being in those practices with him over the years and seeing how he treated his players is going to have a huge impact in how I'm going to treat our players here. So yeah, it's tough. I do get emotional at times when talking about him. He was a guy that I looked up to. He was a role model. I was the oldest boy, and he was, I really looked up to him, and I know he's smiling down.
We have 2 more questions.
Hey, this question's for Nick. I know you were well respected within the Warriors organization. Steve Kerr said you coined the death lineup. Can you just talk about the vision you have for this Mercury team and roster and how Nate fits into what you guys are building?
Absolutely. I'll let our new head coach talk about kind of our style of play and philosophy between the lines, but it's something we've talked about a lot and we align on. I know that. In terms of building our roster, we will explore every avenue in terms of trades, in terms of free agency, in terms of the draft. We've got an important draft lottery coming up here soon. None of that stuff happens overnight, but I don't know if you guys have gotten to know Matt Ishbia at all. It is not his intention to be last in the league any longer. And so our intention is to try to improve as best we can. I think Nate and I align in terms of a roster and a lineup that values shooting, values intelligence, values versatility, and we look forward to starting to chip away at improving that record and moving forward.
Hi, this is Jenna Ortiz from the Arizona Republic. This is for Nate. So when you were looking out at the Mercury organization, I mean, what really stands out to you from the outside looking in?
Yes, so for me, when this process started, it was something new that I hadn't ever really thought about, and had some time to look into it, obviously over the last couple weeks here, and the more I talked to Nick first, spend time talking to Monica and Matt Ishbia and Josh Bartelstein, the more I got excited about it, and just the commitment to the new practice facility was a big thing. I mean, what a wonderful opportunity for our staff and our players to get better each and every day. And yeah, everything from how they want to treat our team to how we want to continue to prove, everything has been first class, and we're super excited about that.
Go ahead, Cindy, we'll do one more.
Welcome, Nate. Cindy Brunson, television play-by-play for the Phoenix Mercury. So happy to have you and your family here in the Valley. I know Mercury fans, particularly the X Factor that come loud and come strong every night, want to know what kind of style of basketball you want to play.
Yeah. I'm coming from the NBA. I'm not, it's what I know. So we're going to play a fast-paced game. We're going to shoot hopefully a lot of threes. Defensively, we're going to protect the rim. We're going to crash the offensive glass. We're going to space the floor, and we're going to give our best players room to go to work. And yeah, it's one of those things when you talk about ways that you want to play. I think great coaches in this league can adjust to their personnel, and so Nick has talked about the draft and free agency, and part of my job is to evolve with our team, and I'm willing to do that. I think because of the experiences that I've seen, I can play different ways. I've got an idea of how I want to play, but our team also needs to fit that.
Okay, just kidding. One more.
Alexis Davis, Phoenix Mercury. You have twin
Alexis.
girls. How
Yes.
are you? How does having twin girls help you want to contribute to the overall betterment of the women's game? And how do you expect to use the Mercury to help you accomplish that?
Yeah, I want to dive in on the community aspect. Again, women's, girls sports has been a part of our lives, and obviously now with two beautiful young girls, I want to help push this thing forward. The WNBA has great momentum. Nothing I'm going to do is going to change it. I just want to be a part of it. I want to grow with it, and they're definitely a big reason why I'm here, for sure.
Okay, we are ready. We're going to do photo op.
Let's do it.
Everybody get it? Great, thank you. Thank you, everyone.